Hello everyone, my name is Frank, and this is my 2024 December reading wrap-up. The first book that I read of the month was The Widow's Husband's Secret Lie by Frida McFadden. Love the title, love the satiricalness of it all. I ended up giving this 4 stars. Actually, weirdly enough, this was one of my favorite that I think she's ever written because she kind of pokes fun at herself. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed all the twists, even though it was satirical. There was still a bunch of twists that were crazy and ridiculous, but they still worked for the story. So I really enjoyed that. And overall, this ended up being a fun, quick, one-sitting read. So my second read of the month was A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. I did unfortunately DNF this book. Please don't hurt me for that. It was more like a bonus story, and it had a Christmas theme, holiday theme to it, essentially. And yeah, it just felt like bonus story before the next big book. And my best friend did end up explaining all the important parts that did happen to it. So thank you so much, Steph, for doing that. My next read for the month was A Season for Second Chances by Jenny Bayliss. I've been wanting to read this for a while now. This came out in 2021, and I really did enjoy it. I ended up giving it 4 stars. And it wasn't just like your typical holiday book. There was a lot of deeper stuff in there. It touches on divorce and homelessness and addiction. And yeah, this was surprisingly a really good read. I feel like that last part was a little shady and I didn't mean to do that. I'm not saying, wow, I'm shocked that this book was actually good. No, I'm not surprised that it was good. I guess I'm just surprised that all the different turns that this book took. And it went there, and it worked really well, and I think you should read this. My next read of the month was The Nightingale by Kristin Hannah. Once again, this is a book I've been wanting to read for centuries at this point. It's a 5-star. It's a Kristin Hannah book. It's got to be a 5 stars. I know even one of her other books I rated 6 stars. Her writing is phenomenal. She wrote this one quite some years ago. I don't know if this is going to be controversial, but I actually enjoyed some of her other books more than this one, but this book was still really good. I just know some people were saying it's their favorite one by Kristin Hannah, and it's super amazing. I think it is amazing, but I did enjoy The Women more. I'm just gonna say it. The Women is my absolute favorite Kristin Hannah book. This one is up there though. I think it's really good, and I loved the different perspective. There's so many World War II stories out there, which many of them, if not all of them, are great books. But this one, it just took a different point of view, focusing on people in France, and that is different. It's unique, and I ended up really liking it. And of course, she made me cry like a little baby. So after I read The Nightingale, things kind of took a turn. I actually had three DNF. I just said that 3 times. 3 DNFs. Now it was 4 DNFs in a row for December. The most I think I've ever had in a row. And I only had 7 DNFs for the entire year. So to have 4 DNFs in 1 month is crazy. It was the end of the year. I think I just about had it. I was tired of pushing through certain stories and I just wasn't doing it anymore. So the first one I DNF'd the second story I DNF'd this month was Most Wonderful by Georgia Clark. I think what really hurt me with this story was that I was enjoying it. I think the writing is good overall, and I was interested in 2 of the 3 characters. The problem was one of the siblings, one of the main characters and points of view of the story, she was so annoying and cringy and just really bothered me, unfortunately, and it made me not want to read the rest of the book. She had so many parts and points of views in the story, and she was just too much, unfortunately for me. It was too many negatives that I was feeling about the character, and she's not even supposed to be a bad guy. Okay, so this one hurts. I never thought I would DNF a Christina Lauren book, and I was really looking forward to this once again for a couple years now in a holidays. I've heard good things about it. It's kind of like your groundhog type of story. And I think why I DNF'd it is just, it got very repetitive. I wasn't really feeling invested in the characters anymore because we're just going back. And I guess for movies, it can be a little entertaining. For books, it's a little bit hard to keep the engagement, I think, sometimes. So that was, I got halfway through this book and I was like, I just don't know if I care about this story anymore to keep going back on the week and on the days of what was going on again. Like it started to feel like torture a little bit. Not saying her writing, that their writing is torture or anything. It's great. Just this plot, it just wasn't doing it for me anymore. And the last book I DNF'd this month was The Rewind by Alison Wynne Scotch. I was really excited about this. It takes place in the 90s. It had to do with New Year's. And when I tried reading this, it was around New Year's Eve. So I'm thinking, oh, I'm pumped. I'm going to be pumped for this. And I just had 2 DNFs, like, let's go, baby. And it was very boring to me. And a lot of other people, after I DNF'd, a lot of people were telling me they felt bored with the story. And that just sucks. That sucks. Will I return to it? Maybe. Maybe I'll try again. Maybe I'll try to read something else by this author, but it felt really boring. I don't know if it's just because I already had DNF'd 3 other books for the month that I'm like, I just had done had it. I just had done had it. Fortunately enough, we had a great finish for December with doing The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. Had to just go back to Kristen Hanna at that point because I know anything I read by her, I'm not only going to finish, but I'm probably going to love. This is actually a book club pick for this month of January. Really, really good. I just feel like this book was so powerful, made me cry multiple times. I also feel like parts of this story was essentially, I kind of feel like It Ends With Us was trying to do what this book actually did successfully. And then on top of it, you have the historical fiction aspects of it. And I liked being able to travel into Alaska, especially with the snowy weather that's going on right now. And just, so good. You have to read this. I can't believe I almost forgot. I did read one more book this month and finish it. It's just because I physically don't have it on me. And that is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I don't know how I can forget Fourth Wing. Please don't attack me, please. So Fourth Wing was so good, rated at 5 stars. By the way, I gave The Great Alone 5 stars as well. And Fourth Wing just so good. And I'm actually almost done with Iron Flame really soon, so there'll be a review on that in the future. But just a really cool story with the dragons and with Violet and Xaden and their dynamic, and just like so good. You got the romance, you got the action, and I think it was just a great first edition of a series. And the ending, like one of the best fantasy endings that I ever have read so far. Not that I've read a ton of fantasy, but still like so good. That was my December reads. If you watch all the way until the end, thank you so much for doing that. Make sure to give a like, comment, follow, whatever you want to do. I'm not going to force you to do anything you don't want to do, okay? And I hope all of you have a super special, awesome day, and bye.